Good morning, spaceman. Welcome to Space Operations Delta. Welcome on board for another episode of X4 Foundations. I'm your captain, Captain Collins, and this is version beta 4.0 hotfix number 1. By the way, welcome on board in this new operations center, and today I want to give you a quick rundown on the most important things that come with the first beta 4.0. We already did a stream about that, and I will pick the most important things out of this. We'll talk about this in this video. You can watch the complete stream on Sunday 7 p.m. as a premiere on YouTube, and there you can see a rundown of every single point on the list sorted by their order in the changelog. Before we start, very quick introduction to myself. I'm Captain Collins. I stream from Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m. Central European Time on twitch.tv/Captain Collins. Every single Thursday we're playing X4, and on the other days we're playing more different games, like for example Battletech or in future Control. If you want to support the channel even more, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and there is even an option to join the channel, which basically means that you get a membership and you can use all the emotes and stuff on this YouTube channel and also in the premieres, in the chat, and in future live streams. But for now, let's go into the game and we'll see a little bit about the new patch. And I have the patch log open here, so this is the version we're talking about, version 4.0 beta 1 hotfix number 1. This came out yesterday. So taking it back again, first big point is volumetric fog, as you saw. So this blue nebula around here, this is already the volumetric fog. And to give you a better view of how this looks like, let's go into Argon Prime. If we take a look down here, there you can see it. We got a lot of blue nebula, a lot of blue fog around here. The fog can have different colors from, I saw blue, green, purple, all the kind of stuff. And it really gets a deep sense of universe, and it looks quite nice. I have to admit, it looks quite nice. This is one of 3 features that we will cover. We talk about the other 2 features later, but let's jump into the improvements or what they added. So one thing that a lot of people wanted, I guess, and a lot of people did get now, is the availability to declare a war on a faction. This, as you see, this is the new faction screen, and if you click on it, you also see the benefits you have and what you still need for this faction. And you have a button, declare war. And if I click once on it, there you see declaration of war. Are you sure you want to declare war on this faction? This action is not reversible. No, I don't want to do this. I did it for the Alliance of the Word. I already declared war, and this is what's happening. So you get onto a reputation of -25 and you can start a war. But this is not really anything else, as if you would have just a bad standing with another faction. So to say this in one sentence, you get the option to get a very bad reputation with a faction in one click. Next thing, something you maybe already saw, is the availability to coordinate attacks. So you have a coordinated attack order. And if I take a fleet, let's take for example this 3 Nemesis Vanguards, and then we click on a Xenon, then we have the coordinated attack option. What this means is you get a lot of options to get into this fight. And when you go into your information tab of your fleet commander, you can see there are a few things added in here. The coordinated attack, you can still switch the weapon systems, but there's also the target in here. You can set the fleet aggressiveness, and if you are coordinating attacks on fleets, and by attacking a fleet you need to search out for these enemies with a crown on it, because that means this is a fleet leader, and then it also makes sense to attack weak targets first. So you can check or uncheck that, and you will attack weak targets in a complete fleet. So this is fleet against fleet. Then you have the sync point. The sync point is a point where your ships should gather before they start the attack. So the first thing they need to do is go to the sync point, which is basically near your target. And if they reached it, you will see all of them will reach the point and it will trigger automatically. You can also uncheck this automatic release, and that way your ships will follow the target as long as you are not clicking the trigger. The moment you click the trigger here, they start attacking the target. This is, for example, good if you're fighting with a station and you want to attack the station as a fleet. Then you can set the fleet on attack this station, get into position, and then hit the trigger, and your fleet will start to shoot all at once. Next thing, there is a new type of mission. As you can already see, there is a safeguard mission, which basically means this is an escort mission. So escort missions are a new mission type introduced into the game. And they also added these new icons where you can see with one look what type of mission this is. So for example, a building mission or a trading mission or a guarding mission or intelligence. So from here, let's go to the next feature, new feature they introduced. If you go into your player information, you will see a new button, and this is messages. So you get low priority and high priority messages. I have absolutely no idea what that means. If you have discovered whatever that means, please write me down in the comments if you know which kind of messages we can expect there. There is one more new cool thing they added into the global orders, and this is what your police force should do with found contraband. So whenever your own police force in your sector, by the way, if you want to know how to claim your own sectors, you will see that card on the top right corner that will show you a video about how to claim sectors. So if you want to see that, click there and then come back. But if you found these contrabands, so you can set whatever is contraband in your sector. So the ship that is basically forced to drop it will drop crates, and you can now set whatever you should do with these crates. So should your police force, for example, collect the dropped crates, destroy them, ignore them? One new thing to mention, which is pretty nice. So whenever you are flying a smaller ship and you get inside of the exhaust of your engines, that ship will take damage. You cannot hide behind engines of a capital ship anymore, because then you will definitely get damage. And it is more damage the faster the ship flies. Next thing, what's really cool, and I already adopted this to my game in my shipyard, is that you can now say whenever you build a new loadout, you can also store with this loadout on this button here how your turrets should behave if this ship comes out of the dock. So you can now save the behavior for your turrets also in a loadout and set, for example, a loadout for defensive methods and a loadout for offensive methods, which is really nice. Another few things that they did is giving the AI a better understanding of your needs when you're mining. So whenever your miners have a better mining spot near the station they are, they will now prefer this more than a far off mining spot. So the wording on it is improved mining AI to better balance travel distance and resource yields between local and remote sectors. That means if you have a local spot in your sector that the AI is considering to mine this one first before going into a remote sector. And one more thing they improved while we're talking about mining, so station-based miners are now working better if the station itself requires more than one single resource. So for example, if you need ore and water, it will balance it a little bit better than before. But they not only added stuff, they also removed stuff. For example, if you had a ship selected and you want to follow another ship, you could just right-click it and you could follow this ship. This is not possible anymore. There are two workarounds for this. Either you could make a coordinated attack without really pulling the trigger, as I told you before, but this only works for fleets. And the other thing is, and I really don't know why they did that, you go into your information, you go into behavior, you go into set default behavior, follow ship. Then you have the ship you need to follow, right click it, select it and confirm that. And now you're following a ship. Before it was 2 clicks of a button, right click, left click, and now you have to do 9 clicks. I don't know why they did that. Absolutely no idea. This is not really what this should be like. The same goes with us defending a station, so you cannot take a ship of yours and just right click a station and say defend the station. That doesn't work anymore, so you have to assign a role, but that's not that bothersome. So they fixed a lot of stuff. They did a lot of stuff in the encyclopedia, so they were writing a lot of stuff. The one thing that is really good in this specific patch is the second feature they introduced, which is called transaction log for detailed breakdown of income and outgoings, and that's what I want to talk about now. The first thing that you maybe see is in your player information, this new thing here, which is called transaction log. And in this transaction log, if we click it, you see all the transactions that have been done onto your personal player account. Maybe you're saying there's a lot of stuff missing, or what is going on here? Well, this is basically just the stuff that's happening on your player account. You can zoom in and you can zoom out here and you will see a lot of stuff happening. If you moving on with the game, you will get more data and you can work with it even better. But this is not where it stops. So they added this transaction log onto everything. And by everything, I mean everything. Let's take, for example, a transaction log of my high-tech factory here. So this also works not only for ships, but also for stations. And there you see a detailed breakdown on what happened onto this station. And you can also go into more detailed statistics here, and you see who got there, what did they bought, how much did they bought, who sold that, for which price. You can see everything there in this drop down menu here, so you will get a definitely better understanding what's going on your station, and you even have a good looking chart there. And also here you can zoom out and you can zoom in and see what's happening and the last, let's say, 2 hours. So this is the point where we got 2 hours minus 120 minutes. They sold, transferred some stuff, and this is all counted on the station account. When you have a minus in your station account and it says transfer, like for example in here the 5 million, that means you will have a 5.65 million plus if you see your player account, because that's where the transfer happened to, and you can see this transfer in your player account afterwards. So there are a few things missing still in here. I really want to have a set date whenever something happened. So give me a game time, for example, and an in-game time, and I can check that back in other accounts. And other things that happened, for example, in shipyards is that when you go inside here and show the transaction log, you see that there's a transfer going on, but you don't know what transferred in here. Also, if you see that there are some cases of ships that being bought, because 1.5 million, that's basically a ship that's being bought, you don't know which type of ship is being bought, so you cannot see if the prices are varying. But overall, this is a very, very good tool, and this is the start of something really good for the series. We can finally go into trading, economy, all the stuff, and we get more detailed information. This is the first ever introduction of that feature, and we'll see definitely more in the future. Oh, and by the way, you can also access that from the logical station overview just by clicking on the right side here at the transaction log. And like I said, this is also working for every single ship. Well, if you want to have this transaction logs for ships, it doesn't really work with ships that are under the command of a station. This will not give you a transaction log. They're not selling any stuff. They're just bringing stuff to the station. But if you go in here and we take a drill from there you can see that there is also a transaction log. And of course, everything that comes into the ship account. So every single ship also has got an account, but you don't see it. But every single time something comes into the account, it immediately got transferred to your player account, and that's why you always have this minus credits in here. So every single plus credits is whatever the ship has sold, and the minus is what the ship transferred into your player account, and you will see this value as a plus in your player account. So this is basic economic. Finally, there is a sense into that, but I really need that date and time whenever this happened. And there is one more thing. We all learned that it's working. Apple taught us that there is a new type of research. If you go into your research tree, to the right, you have high mass teleportation 1 and high mass teleportation 2. High mass teleportation 1 will teleport your player HQ inside of the sector your player HQ is already in. And high mass teleportation 2 will allow you to teleport your player HQ to whichever sector you like. I do not have researched that, but I already saw pictures in the Discord server that we have that looks something like that. Did you ever saw a player HQ in Argon Prime without any mods. Nope, I didn't. This is not modded. If you want to see more and want to discuss more stuff like this, then you are very welcome to the Discord server. The Discord server link is in the description down below, as all the other links to the Twitch channel and to how to subscribe and how to join the channel. And with this, we're coming back to our new lobby, and I can say thank you for watching this. This was the breakdown of the most important parts. Like I said, there will be also a video about everything, which is a 4-hour video to run down every single point on the list of the update log. Thanks for watching. Have a good time. I'm Captain Collins. I'm out. See you soon.